Good day, good day. What do you say? It's great to be back on the greatest station in the nation, WVOX, a global media station. You're listening to 1460 on your AM dial or online at WVOX.com or streaming on various social media platforms, mine included. My name is Rich Thomas. I'm the former mayor of the great city of Mount Vernon, and I'm so happy and grateful for being welcomed back on to WVOX airwaves. Thank you to Mr. O'Shaughnessy, Don, and the whole team here at WVOX, the whole family. I've been coming on this radio station since, I want to say, 1996. I've been coming here a long time, so it's like a second home, and it's definitely been a place of breaking news, a place where discussion happens and you're able to get into the issues, unlike many other places. So I just want to again thank WVOX and the whole family for making space and allowing me to come back on Wednesdays at noon for what happened here. So many things happen. From a car accident, you see traffic back up where people rubbernecking. They ask a question, what happened? You see things that happen in your town or on the national stage, which we will get into in this show. Our first guest will be Congressman Eliot Engel. This will be his first time speaking publicly since he left office and offering an uncandid feedback on, what's going on. Not uncandid, excuse me, candid commentary on what's going on in the state of our democracy. I really look forward to talking with him. He's always been a great friend and a great mentor and advisor over the years, and someone who I know Mount Vernon dearly misses. But nonetheless, we have so many issues that we can unpack, and I welcome your thought, and also important to us. And so we will take calls later in the show. The dial-in number, in case you want to write it down right now, is 914-636-0110. Again, it's 914-636-0110. Again, calls will be held when the congressman is speaking, and after he speaks, we may have time for a call or two, but I just want to, make you aware that we will be limiting calls for at least, to make sure we hear the congressman out all the way. But the theme of this show, as I mentioned, is to ask a question about what happened. And, we'll unpack the four W's of who, what, where, why. And during the conversation, we aim to end on, laying out the facts from both sides of the spectrum so you can determine, what happened. And once you have that knowledge and that feedback, we hope you use the information to make changes for good, because that's what this is all about. We want you to ask questions. We want you to think as we visit popular issues like January 6th. What really happened? We know that the January 6th committee in Congress is really going hard on investigating the situation. Congressman Engel, who is coming up in the show, is very good friends with, what happened. And we'll have some feedback from the congressman later in the show. But COVID is really hitting hard. It hit me hard over the past year, 2 years, and lost some really good friends, some great people. Most recently, last week, lost a very dear friend and neighbor of mine who was, just a lovely person, a great mother. She leaves behind a husband and a son who miss her dearly. Just know that COVID is still alive and well. I know that there are a lot of healthcare workers out there that are struggling with this. I know that there are a lot of families out there struggling with this. Our kids are struggling with this, who I feel so dearly for, because they're dealing with the situation of having to juggle remote learning to wearing a mask all day in class. Like, these are things that we never really had to experience before. So I really look forward in coming shows to explore these issues about what happened with the promises of remote learning, with in-person learning, with the dynamics that's going on right now in front of us with our teachers who demand and deserve safety in the classroom, but also, our children who deserve to be kept first. So there are a lot of issues to get into. What happened will definitely evolve, and we look forward to including you and incorporating your comments and your questions as we go forward. Now, with respect to me, it's been a while since I've been on this air, and many have been asking what I've been doing. I've been living life. I've been terrific. I've been enjoying the time with my family, my wife and kids, watching them grow. I will say that it is it is tough to be a dad during these times because you really don't have the answers and you don't have the certainty that you could offer when it comes to some of the life lessons you want to teach. Like for example, when sports was canceled, it was very difficult to try and impart some lessons and instill some values in my kids. So I will share that and open up to you that COVID has been hitting real hard in terms of trying to find a rhythm in terms of engaging young people. And specific to parenting, I just want to say I've been spending a little bit of time on Roblox playing with my son to try and make sure I connect deeper and more meaningfully with him. But I'm telling you, Roblox is very difficult. I'm more of a Minecraft person, but that's a different story. But nonetheless, I will say that I've been no stranger to the airwaves. I've been calling in, sharing my thoughts and opinion every now and again on issues like COVID, for example. I think COVID has really stretched the limits of many different aspects of our patience, our wit, and has really challenged our economy. The supply chain scramble is a serious challenge nonetheless, but I do think that if we remain determined to fix it, it will get fixed. But with respect to COVID and our healthcare workers, I just want to give a big salute to the hard work and the dedication that many of our healthcare workers have been you know putting in that time. And I know it's challenging when you have all these different mandates coming down, confusing mandates nonetheless, asking you to get vaccinated, don't get vaccinated. You got information, disinformation, misinformation, and all the stuff coming out. And all you want to do is try and heal people that are not feeling well and help people get through. So I just want to, everybody, if you know a healthcare worker, definitely reach out to them and thank them because they're definitely on the front lines every day, through and through, trying to take care of me and you. So nonetheless, I want to, look over across the screen, say what's up to my man Jarrell, my sound engineer. I've been working with him, thankfully, for a couple of years. If you don't know Jarrell, you know that he's on the one and twos here at WVOX, bringing the funk every now and again. What nights are you playing? Are you still spending on Fridays? Oh, you see, he moved to Thursdays. Look at that. Oh, you gotta tune in on Thursdays. What time on Thursday? You see, right there, y'all. Check out Jarrell 9 to 10 on WVOX for smooth R&B and jazz. You used to have the Quiet Storm on WBLS, but this ain't got nothing on the hurricane that he be bringing. He be making it rain. I know. I'll be rocking with you. But you got it. You got it. But a lot of things have been happening. I've been active on the political front. I've been very supportive of candidates that have been running for office throughout Westchester and the region. I've spoken with a lot of young people about ideas and things they should be doing to try and, create an opportunity for themselves as they go out into this new type of environment to try and find a job. On the political front, very relieved and happy to see a brand new city council. Very happy and relieved to see a brand new city controller. Um, I have some expectations. They're modest, not big expectations, but just modest expectations. And I'm looking forward to Mount Vernon making more progress. I will say that I'm proud of New Rochelle. New Rochelle as a city has put in a process to develop and redefine itself. And I see one of our fitness leaders from New Rochelle, Dana Smart, on Instagram Live. If you don't know Dana Smart, it'll be smart to get to know Dana because she definitely has a practice and a service that will get you fit and fresh from all sorts of stuff with the sauna bed and relaxation and stretching and fitness. So y'all check out her profile on Instagram Live, D Smart Fit. I'm gonna say that again, D as in Delta, Smart Fit, all one word on IG. Look, I gotta promote. I gotta show love and praise. I mean, she's on her thing, but I will say she's fast, but she did not beat my son in the race. So y'all just gotta keep that in mind. Like my 9-year-old son is quick. I'm not a fast runner, but he's definitely a sprinter. I'm not saying you're not quick, Dana, but Harrison is very fast. But nonetheless, look, when we come back from break, We'll have our guest on the line, Congressman Elliot Engel, and you're listening to WVOX. What happened here with Mayor Rich Thomas? No doubt, no doubt, no doubt. And for those people that are listening online, I just want to let you know that "Eye of the Tiger" was my wedding song. It's one of my anthems of all time. So I walked out to that song when we got married some um, 10, 11 years ago. So it's been that song means so much. I mean, so many different lessons packed into that one song. So say it again. All right, hang on. I got an email from his team that he's calling in. So let me try one more time. Give me a second, guys.
1982, where prices rose 0.5% from the months before, and U.S. Airlines say China
Yeah. All right.
had a dozen blocks to get the passenger.
All right. So Congressman Ingles on the line, getting locked and loaded. I'm going to talk to him, um, and we'll talk some more. But I will say, um, I uh, I look forward to sharing a little bit more about my background. Like a lot of people don't know that you know I'm Native American, and my one of my great grandfathers was a chief in the Cherokee Nation, and his name was John Ross. I encourage you all to look up John Ross on Wikipedia, and I encourage you to, read about his story because his story, I feel like, somewhat plays out in my life. But here we come back from break. I'll tell you more about John Ross later. Here we go.
Thomas, former mayor of Mount Vernon on 1460 WVOX.
Good day, good day. What do you say? Welcome back to What Happened Here. I'm former Mayor Rich Thomas of the great city of Mount Vernon. Glad to be back on air. You're listening to WVOX, a Whitney Global Media station. You can call in or you can join the conversation online on Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube. But today we are holding the line because we have a guest that is an icon and a living legend who served the people of New York many years from the state and in Congress, making progressive changes, wise, leading with action, not with words, extremely effective in getting things resolved. I recall having to field many a question about immigration, passport problems, or you name issues with foreign relations. Congressman Elliot Engel, a person who served with President Biden when he was in the Senate, chairing the Senate Committee on Foreign Relations, a person who served with our President Biden when Biden was in the White House as vice president, and when Congressman Engel was the chair of Foreign Affairs in Congress, a person who served with Benny Thompson, who's leading the January 6th committee, which is investigating the insurrection at the Capitol, a person who served with Senator Sinema when she was in Congress, and knows Senator Joe Manchin after working with him many years in Congress in Washington. Congressman Engel was one of the first people to support Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer when he was running for Senate, and he was polling at 2%. And after Engel's endorsement, Senator Chuck Schumer, his poll number skyrocketed. Congressman Engel, welcome to the line. Thank you for joining us today on What Happened Here.
Thank you.
It's been a lot happening in our country, and there's been so many things that's been going on. And before we get into that discussion, just want to know and wish that your family's well, you're well, and just get a quick update on what you've been doing.
Well, the nice thing and the best thing is in about a month and a half, I'm going to become a grandfather for the first time.
Congrats.
Yeah, thanks. So I'm really, really looking forward to that. It's nice to be able to concentrate on personal things and personal life after all these years of being an elected official where sometimes the family always felt it was placed second behind all the other things. You understand being an elected official yourself, that we do a lot of things, and it's often the family that gets the brunt of you not being around or running around to a million different things. But I am looking forward to the future. It was a wonderful, glorious 30 years for me, which is a very long time, obviously.
Mhm.
I'm sorry, 32 years, which is a wonderful long time serving in the Congress. And I really enjoyed it, loved it. Thank the people of the district for sending me back time and time again. Now, like anything in life, it's time for me personally to move on to other things. So I've been listening to some offers. I've been listening to people asking me to come on board. And I haven't made any decision yet. I wanted to wait a year because you have to wait a year after being a member of Congress in order to do any kind of lobbying of the Congress. The year it has just come and gone, so now I'm free to do whatever I want to do, and I'll see what happens. But it was a great long run, and I'm very appreciative and grateful to the people of Westchester and Bronx who elected me, and even Rockland, one of the 10 of the years, time and time again. And I'm raring to go.
That's tremendous. And, as you look back over the past year, there's been so many developments. The first one being January 6th. What happened here with January 6th in the state of our democracy? What should Congress be doing?
So let me first say that I had just left Congress when that happened. I was gone 2 days. So if I wanted to joke around, I'd say you see Elliot Engel leaves and the whole place falls apart. But happened 2 days later. But what makes me sad about January 6th is not so much Republican Democratic politics or fights or I mean there always been fights. There always will be politically, and maybe that's the way our democracy works. But I'm afraid for the first time in my lifetime of democracy flourishing. I mean, when we were always told, and I've always believed that what makes America different than everybody else is that if we lose an election, we don't wake up the next morning and find that there are tanks out on the streets,
Mhm.
and that it's always been respected. We're not seeing that now with Mr. Trump and his supporters claiming that the election was stolen, which of course is not the truth. Um, it is a scary thing, the undermining of the underpinning of our democracy. It's very, very scary because what always makes America different is countries all around the world, even some of our adversaries, look to us as rock solid. And for the first time ever, for me, and I've been around a while now, I've been in politics a while now, I felt insecure, and I still feel insecure, because there are people that think they're patriots, or in their minds they're patriots, but what they're really doing is undermining the democracy. So they're doing the exact opposite of what they claim to do. And this is only the first chapter. I mean, we're going to have another presidential election in a few years, and one of the things we've always, again, pride ourselves in is that when the election was done, we all united and joined, joined hands and tried to work for the betterment of the country. Again, in Congress, you're not seeing that. I cannot tell you with how many people have said to me, you're lucky you're not there anymore. You left just at the right time because it's gotten to be terrible. I was always known as someone who worked across the aisle with Republicans, with independents, certainly with Democrats, and try to find a better way or a good way for the path of the United States. And now it just seems with the personal attacks and the viciousness, politics has always been somewhat dirty, but it seems for some reason it's been taken to a new low. And I'm sorry about that, and we better take.
I can't agree more. And that's where, I look to the president's speech yesterday, a fiery speech, calling for action on voting the president's timing, but the president is working on the issue. And I hope that, in listening to, his words yesterday, we hopefully, can get into this when we come back from break. It's an important topic, and you're listening to What Happened Here with Mayor Rich Thomas on WVOX. Don't change that dial. Congressman Engel is dialing in to make sure you know what happened here. Stay tuned. So everybody watching online, as our first segment with the congressman, we're going to come back from break in a few moments, and we're going to talk about the voting rights issue, the president's push to get the legislation passed, and we will definitely get into some of the issues about our infrastructure. We'll talk about some of the global issues that we're seeing right now with the supply chain, as you're hearing now on commercial break. But if you have questions, don't be afraid to send them on Instagram Live, send them on Facebook or YouTube, and we'll do our best to get to them. We'll open up the phone lines in the last segment of the show, and hopefully, if there's time, the congressman will stay and give some feedback on, on what's going on. So stay tuned.
Few have dedicated their lives to the work of the people, quite like Harry did.
He's the 37th public servant to lie in state at the Capitol. America's listening to Fox News.
New York City Restaurant Week is back. From January 18th through February 13th, save on dining with prefixed meals all over town. Plus, get $10 back when you book with your MasterCard. Browse menus and book tables now at nycgo.com.
And now with your latest up-to-date forecast, here's Steve Pelletieri's Eye on Weather on 1460 WVOX.
Forecast Westchester County and the vicinity for today, mostly sunny skies. Our high temperatures will climb close to 40. Increasing and thickening clouds this evening, overnight lows falling back to the upper 20s to near 30. Partly sunny, mild day on Thursday. Thursday's highs will climb close to 45. Mostly cloudy early Friday, with temperatures climbing into the middle 30s by the midday hours, falling back through the remainder of the day. Looks like increasing clouds, much colder on Saturday. Highs only climbing upper teens to near 20. Mostly sunny 30 on Sunday. I'm Steve Pelletieri, Junior reporting 1460 WVOX, the Whitney Global Media Station.
Everything you need to get started in the morning.
Every morning.
Good morning, Westchester, with Dennis and Tommy. Weekday mornings from 6 to 9, right here on 1460 WVOX.
1460.
Back from break.
And now back to What Happened Here with Rich Thomas, the former mayor of Mount Vernon, on 1460 WVOX.
Good day, good day. What do you say? What happened here with Mayor Rich Thomas on WVOX, a Whitney Global Media station. If you're joining us live, you hear Congressman Eliot Engel, our first guest, our special guest, that's unpacking some issues that speak to the state of our democracy. What happened? And before we went to break, he was touching upon the dangers of democracy slipping away, and watching the backslide, and how important it is for us to continue to stand up and defend the very ideals that we believe in to make sure that freedom in America continues to ring. Congressman Engel, we were talking before the break about President Biden and his push to, try and get a Voting Rights Act delivered through Congress and through the Senate. And we were also, you highlighted and amplified some of the ugliness that's in politics today. Some of that was front and center with Dr. Fauci when he confronted Senator Paul. It just goes to show you, like you said, there are people and forces out there that want to benefit politically from the type of division that's being sown. what can we do to kind of confront some of this stuff? What do you think about what happened to our democracy and why politics has gotten so ugly?
Well, uh, declaration by former President Trump that he really won the election and the election was stolen is an absolute lie. I mean, it's just preposterous that states that went for President Biden, which were controlled by Republicans, they're certainly not going to do something to make the Republican candidate lost. They're just being honest, truthful, counting the ballots, doing their job, doing their duty. And Trump didn't like it, and he would think that he lost. But for him to keep saying that he really won the election, I don't know if he's deluded himself and think that he won it, but he wouldn't. And every election person who counted all the votes in each of the states certified it. Many of them were Republicans. So I think it's dangerous because if everybody can just simply say they lost an election, well, it was a fraudulent election, that makes people wonder about our democracy because people believe what they hear. And there are a lot of people who still like Trump, who voted for him, and when they hear him say the election was stolen from him, they believe him. Unfortunately, they believe him. And again, my feeling about the matter has nothing to do with liking Trump, not liking Trump, whatever. It has to do with the integrity our electoral system and with American politics and American democracy. That's what worries me, because whoever's president will be president for 4 years or 8 years, then we'll have another president. But the damage to American democracy or the system, again, embedded there where people have no confidence in elections, where people feel that the elections are stolen, even though they are not. That doesn't bode well for the future of democracy in the United States of America. And to my knowledge, that's certainly my lifetime. But that's the only time that I really felt this way. And it's very, very dangerous. And the few brave Republican elected officials, like Liz Cheney, whom I know, up and placed her entire career in jeopardy, but she cares more about the United States of America than her own career. And kudos to her. And anybody else is willing to stand up and say that we're not going to allow the big lie to be perpetuated. And sorry to answer this, so you think that. And we were thinking, arguing among members of my former colleagues in the House, there's a vilest thing, the nastiest thing, the threats and threatening things that people get. And you really think and say, is it going to do it? I don't believe it is. And I hope it's not. But I think we cannot have any of us sit back and just expect things to fall in place. We've got to get out there and be active and stand up for our country and for our democracy. And when people are lying about it, we ought to pull them to the carpet and have to not just turn our face and look the other way. Joe Biden, won the election. We might not like him, he might like him, but he won the election. And so that deserves to be respected. Just the way when Trump was president, and what people say this about him, I often said, although I didn't vote for him, I often said, well, he was elected. So we've got to respect that. But it can't be a one-way street. Elections are so important. And again, what's so sad is it's coming out more and more with the commission, with the committee, then the January 6th, that people the patriots storming the Capitol. I mean, if you are a patriot and you want to restore freedom as you think it's slipping away, you do it violently. Is that the way to restore freedom? I mean, it's preposterous. So what these people did with an armed insurrection, I have no and sorry feeling for that. They deserve everything they get. We have a country that's the democratic country that was around the world, and other countries look for us. We have our own people storming in, breaking in violently. It cannot be tolerated, or else our democracy will lose it as quickly as you can think.
And that's why it's important to, for the Justice Department to continue their efforts to hold people accountable. And this, on the other side of the aisle, meaning the issue of trying to get a blue collar agenda through the Senate or the House, Senators Sinema and Manchin have been puzzling. What can be done to try and persuade and convince people that have constituencies that may feel that President Biden is going to bridge too far, but the rest of the country believes President Biden is building the bridges going the right direction, but we can't get the support needed to finish building the bridge. What are your thoughts on how to engage Senators Sinema and Manchin?
Well, I know them both. Let me say that President Biden has become president in a very difficult, strenuous time. First of all, the COVID has really soured the mood of the country.
Mm-hmm.
People are afraid. People are changing their lifestyles. You have,
Mm-hmm.
we all have. And so I think that a lot of the deck that he's been dealt, um, it's a difficult deck, but he ran for president, he got elected, and we rely on him to do things that's supposed to be done. I'm surprised, quite frankly, that Senator Sinema, who served in the House with me, was not known, unaware of her standing up in any kind of high-profile issue prior to this one. So it's sort of like she came out of the pack. Senator Manchin, while he is probably the most conservative, or certainly one of the most conservative Democrats, has always, in push came to shove, kind of compromised. And I think while President Biden was so put upon, is we thought that ultimately that there would be some kind of compromise, and everybody would not get everything they wanted, but everybody would get a little bit of what they wanted. And then when Senator Manchin got up last week or the week before and said he's not voting for it, I think that President Biden felt that he was blindsided. Um, Look, Manchin, Sinema, and everybody else, they absolutely have a right to do what they feel is best for the country and for their constituents. But I'm a little disappointed, or a lot disappointed, in the way that they've conducted themselves to try to the kibosh on any kind of program. The programs that President Biden has been pushing, I personally believe are good for this country and are something that we should all rally behind. But, again, it's another indication of gridlock, of people not talking to each other, people across the aisle being rude. Um, I know Joe Biden, as you mentioned before, before he was vice president, he was chairman of the Senate Committee on Foreign Relations, and I was chairman of the House Committee on Foreign Affairs. So I've interacted with him many times before he was president, and he knows his stuff, his foreign affairs, other things as well. But I hope the most important thing is all need to keep in mind is the well-being of the United States. While I am disappointed in Manchin and Sinema for doing what they're doing to, I think, the Democratic Party, that pales in comparison with my worry about what their policies are going to do for the country or do against the country. And I hope that when push comes to shove in the not too distant future, we can pass something that maybe wouldn't be everything we like, but would be part of the 50%, 60%, 70%. And I think that's what we've got to work for. And so, these are difficult times. I really feel for Joe Biden, but he ran for president. He knows this Washington. He knows the job, and hopefully things will be better. I think it is important to reach across the aisle. I always did that. I always had good relations on both sides of the aisle when I was chairman. I think that was respected by both parties. And I'm a Democrat, and I have certain priorities that I think are important that need to be pushed. I think Joe Biden feels that way, and I hope, again, when push comes to shove, both Manchin and Sinema will realize that half a loaf is better than none.
And and I hope they find that higher spirit as well, because when I look around the world and I see our friends in Israel in particular surrounded and in a position where they're isolated, America has to remember our relationships to defend our friends who's also on the front lines defending freedom. Congressman, if you can hang on the line for the final few minutes of the show, just love to have you for 2 more minutes to close out for your final thoughts. Thank you so much, everybody. Don't change that dial. You're listening to What Happened Here with Mayor Rich Thomas on WVOX. You're getting this straight, guys. Let us know what you think of the show. Share it. Oh, hang on. Say again? Gerald, somebody, I think somebody called in. Okay, but Congressman is still on the line. I just want the Congressman to finish his thought, and then we'll tell Ronnie if she could just hang on, stay on the line. All right, thank you.
Through progress slowing down inflation, the annual 7% inflation rate reported by the Labor Department today is the most since 1982, and it's harder to find some things again.
There are noticeable shortages of supplies at grocery, pharmacy, and other stores, now considered a widespread problem nationwide.
Say again, Joe?
Produce
What are you talking about? All right, cool. All right, cool.
At stores being attributed to COVID, trucker and staffing shortages, and in some cases due to weather.
This is Jeff Manosso. The Democrats' longtime leader in the Senate, Harry Reid's caskets at the Capitol for people to pay their respects. For Majority Leader Chuck Schumer.
Few have shaped the workings of this building, like our dear friend.
Thank you guys for joining online.
Few
I
have
hope you're enjoying the conversation about what happened here.
quite like
We're having an action-packed conversation with our Congressman Elliot Engel, someone who represented this area for 32 years, someone who did it with dignity and grace. And a lot of people didn't fully understand how effective he was behind the scenes and moving things along and making things happen. And when I was in office as mayor, and even before then, I worked very closely with Congressman Engel and his team. They were extremely effective. I mean, if you think about this, he was trained by someone to open the doors and push back against the political class that I respect and care about dearly. And I'm very grateful that he agreed to be my first guest. Always remains what's good. Proud to not only know him, but kind of watching over me and my family, even though he put me through some things I really didn't like. But I believe I'm better for it. All right, y'all, we're going to get up. Let's go. Let's get back on the show. And yes, there will be other shows and other segments that you'll see roll out in time. We're going to have some fun.
Thomas, former mayor of Mount Vernon, on 1460 WVOX.
Good day, good day. What do you say? What happened here with Mayor Rich Thomas on WVOX, a Whitney Global Media station? Hey, if you are not listening, you need to listen up, because we have our Congressman Elliot Engel on the line. He has some final thoughts we'd like him to share. And also, I'd like to ask the Congressman to, just say a few words about Assemblymember Sandra Galiff. She's retiring after this year. She's been a dedicated servant leader to the people of Westchester and Putnam County. I think she's done an incredible job, complicated one, but nonetheless, Assemblymember Galiff is someone who I've had the pleasure of working with over the years, and really respect and admire her for being someone just like you, Congressman, effective in making things happen. Congressman Engel, final thoughts?
Rick, it was a delight, effective, hardworking, friendly, nice, really caring about the people she represents, and really caring about all people. So it's a loss, obviously, to see her go,
Yeah.
but it's well deserved, and I'm sure that she will continue to work for the betterment of Westchester and all the people that she has served through the years. I'm honored to call her my friend. We've attended baseball games together. We've done lots of things, and we're going to miss Sandy, but we're all fortunate to have worked with her and to have watched her and I wish for the absolute best.
Absolutely. Congratulations, Assemblymember Galiff. A lot of praise to come your way over the days. Congressman Engel, final thoughts?
The, we're sort of at the beginning of a way, a winding road. Go either way, and I think it's more important now than ever that those of us who love the country and love democracy
Mm-hmm.
allow it to be taken over by people who have an agenda and would rather make it difficult for democracy to be practiced than making it easier. That's why you have the fight now over the Voting Rights Act. People, we want to make it easier for people to vote, not place roadblocks in people's way. We do want to make it authentic. We don't want any fraud, but we can't allow that to be used as a reason to deny people the absolute American right to vote. We need to fight that. We need to win that. We need to keep going. We're all people of goodwill who love this country. I consider myself one of them. But make sure that the path in the future is the right path. And so, thank you for having me on the show. This is actually the first show I've been on since I left the Congress. So it's nice to see old friends. Thank you, Richard.
Thank you so much, and I hope to have you on in the coming days. And congratulations again on your grandson to come. And I know, as being a parent, our kids love the grandparents the most. It's something that, parents, get upset about, but that's the truth, because grandma, grandpa definitely have a lot more to offer than mom and dad saying go to bed.
I had a fundraiser in Westchester, somebody's home. There was a pillow in the living room, and the pillow said, if I knew having grandchildren was so much fun, I would have had them first. Think about grandchildren, just play with them, then when it's over, you send them home. So that's kind of good. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, thank you so much. We look forward to having you again, and congratulations. Thank you, Congressman Engel.
Thank you.
Everybody, that was Congressman Engel, the wise, action-oriented, effective leader that helped, get so many things done for the people of Westchester, Mount Vernon, and the whole region, spanning to Rockland at times. And very grateful for him sharing his time, his perspective on what happened. And you heard what happened from Washington and what it means to us here in Westchester. And now we have a caller on the line. Caller, Ronnie, you're on the line with Mayor Rich Thomas on what happened here.
Constitution, he's making up his own constitution. And you know what? He wants to do something right. Okay, you represented Mount Vernon. I live in Nursville. We have a lot of people that can't afford heating their houses, can't afford to put gas in their cars. We need to open up that pipeline. As far as I'm concerned right now, that will make everything better. You'll give people back their jobs. The price of gas will go down. And not only that, how I look at him, he once been a great senator way back in the day, and I had a cousin that used to see him, was in Delaware, swear by him, okay? You don't even know what a quarter because he doesn't pay for anything except his dry cleaning when you live in the White House. So he's so not in tune of what the American people, he's not heating his home, he's not supplying gas in his car, okay? And you know what? We need to help the American people, not change it. The Constitution says, if you're an American citizen, you can vote. They're just trying to manipulate it, letting illegals to vote, and that's
That-
right. You're not American citizens. They should have came here the right way. The COVID situation is out of hand because they let everybody cross the border. Nobody was tested.
So, Ronnie, you touching on a lot of issues. I just want to take one at a time real quick. So here we go. On the immigration and the voting thing, that's New York City Mayor Eric Adams. We will have a show dedicated to that issue coming up. Stay tuned for that. With respect to energy, look, I'm an energy hawk. I believe in nuclear power, and I can point to what went wrong here in New York State. New York State shut down Indian Point, a huge mistake. And if you look at the cost of electricity today, it's up. You look at our dependence on fossil fuels, it's up. You have these backwards policies. I'm agreeing with you on energy. I mean, look, President Biden should be pushing, energy infrastructure. He should be looking at ways to, responsibly transition toward, you know, an electric vehicle situation, but you can't do it if you don't have enough power. And you can't, if you don't have enough power, if you don't have enough gas in the tank. So I understand and recognize the energy issues very deeply. And here on the New York front, we have some things to fix. Well, we're gonna, so Ronnie, I'm gonna ask that you hold on the line because we have another caller. I do want to talk to you. So just keep that passion, Ronnie. Keep that passion. Hold on line. Next caller. Hey, Vince. Thank you.
That American democracy, which is a falsehood. Maybe somebody can explain to me things about Trump or Georgia that's actually stopping people from voting. Because their voting, from what I understand, is more open and free than in Delaware, his home state. So, maybe at some point we can actually have an honest discussion about that because, it's a real problem to secure the ballot. But maybe for another day, but
I will promise. Yes, Wednesdays at noon on a weekly basis. I will ask the question about what happened with voting, and I think it's important because I personally, have feelings and facts that the election from June 2019, when I was running for reelection, was tampered with, and so I do hear and I recognize the concerns that are being raised throughout the country, and I will say that changes have been made here in New York that prevent the party chair from de-enrolling a person from the party, making them ineligible to vote in the primary. I mean, well, look, well, I'll tell you this, Vince. This is how you know that what happened here is going to be, action packed and full of fun and facts. Looking forward to coming back next week, Wednesday at noon on WVOX. This has been our first show, What Happened Here with Mayor Rich Thomas. Looking forward to seeing you live again and again. Join us again next week, Wednesday at noon. Peace, y'all. See y'all later. Thank you.
Battling the surge. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. The White House COVID response team outlining the latest COVID data and the response. Fox's Jessica Rosenthal has this live.
Lisa, CDC Director Rochelle Walensky says new data shows Omicron is much less severe than Delta, while the 7-day average of deaths has increased by 40%. Walensky says those are likely Delta-related deaths.
We have seen, as you noted, that death rates are down from Omicron of about 91%.
Walensky acknowledged that some masks are better than others, and they will be updating their mask guidance soon. However,
CDC continues to recommend that any mask is better than no mask.
White House officials say they've ordered more therapeutic drugs and are going to send out 10 million rapid and PCR tests each month to schools, Lisa.
Thanks, Jessica. President Biden finding progress in the latest report on inflation, with gas and food prices falling. But he acknowledges family budgets are still getting squeezed. Consumer prices overall up 7% last month compared to a year ago, the highest rate since 1982. Supply chain issues still partly to blame for higher prices at the grocery store, and production costs are higher for farmers.
Everything is costing farmers more, from